So this gig, I think, was a real pivotal moment for me in my gigging life. One of the things that's kept me from really committing to playing is just my full conscious awareness that I'm not that good, that as far as a violinist goes, that I'm like C tier here. I'm like a level 3 violinist. I'm a second violinist in a regional orchestra. That's what I am. That's what I always have been. With enough rehearsal, you can get me to play like some of the standards, but I need to be in the back. Now, the thing is, I'm a pretty good showman on stage because I do get into it and I do feel it. I'm very like prima donna-ish in that way. And so sometimes that has actually helped me. And I mean, it got to the point where I would be a principal. It got me into first, not because of my playing ability, but because I get into it and I mode a lot. And, it's something to look at other than just being, it's annoying to other violinists, but sometimes people like that, to see you get into it. So, but I've always been aware that, like, my ceiling as a player hasn't been that great. My articulation is not good. My vibrato is limited to certain, like my second, third finger. There's certain things I'm good at, but get me out of that, and my intonation is not great. And violin is just, it is intonation, tone. Like those are the two things. And if you're not doing those two things, you have no business being a symphony violinist. But as I've paid more and more attention to pop music and things that sell, not everyone is very good. Like, and that's fine. Like Bob Dylan, you don't listen to Bob Dylan because he's great in tune or has great vocal tone, but he does have great vocal tone for what he does. And I think it's going back into it, thanks to the parking lot violinists, it's made me realize people just want to hear violin. And so that's kept me going through this year. And this year, most of the time, I felt like garbage. Like I leave a gig saying, I only think about what I did wrong, and I'm not very patient with my mistakes. And I'll see some people pop up in my lives that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just embarrassing. It's just like I'm literally playing for my teacher again. Now, I've been playing these gigs for my teacher in her retirement home, but it's different because her years have gone. I mean, she's in her 90s, way more forgiving of my mistakes, and will tell me that I'm good. And she's just super gracious because she gets to hear violin, and very gracious, giving me a lot of mulligans. But today she gave me a compliment, and she almost broke down. I had this. It's a moment in Back to the Future where Michael J. Fox is like, y'all aren't ready for that, but your kids are going to love it. So I had that moment today. I started playing on a whim. I was like, you know what? I'm going to play some Lana Del Rey for them and just see what they think of it. So I played Yosemite. I was like, well, they liked it okay. And Arlene had this scrunched up look. My teacher had a scrunched up look on her face like, well, I didn't know that one. I was like, well, we'll play one more. So I played Cola. But that to me is Lana peak. Like, it's just so atmospheric. Sounds like you're in a cathedral, whatever the subject matter may be. It's just so, just this booming atmospheric vibe. And every time I play it, it takes me there. And so I get into it. And Arlene came up afterwards and was like, you felt whatever you're playing. I want to hear more of that. Whatever makes you feel like, like that you're getting into it, I want to see you play that. I was really surprised by that. It was not that moment in Back to the Future. Like, these old people got it. And in that moment, I just realized that's what I bring to the table is I do feel things in music, and when I feel it, I need to get there. Whatever the supersonic holy spiritual moment is, like Carlos Santana says, I need to get to that thing. Just get to it. Quit beating around the bush, whatever that moment is. And in that song, what takes me there in that song is there's a bit at the end where her producers are just god tier. There's a bit at the end where they do this modulation or something. There's like horns in the lower. It's like, and it gets all dissonant, and she's just singing like the over it, bro. Like, that's another level. Like, I'm getting chills thinking about it now. That's Tchaikovsky level counterpoint, and ooh, man, it's sick. That's what I got to get to. That when I get chills on my shoulders, and to have my violin teacher have that feeling. It's like that moment in those Top Chef shows where the people's, like the chef's original chef that taught them, and they start crying when they're having to cook for them, and then the chef gives them a real compliment. It's like, you did this right, and I am so proud. And the person's just about to break down. Like that was that moment for me, that she understood me playing a modern pop song, and a reminder that it's not my intonation, it's not my virtuosity. That's why I got into this. I heard Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto in E minor. It's like, I want to play that, and I ain't got the chops for it. But I do have, I think, a little bit of Mendelssohn in me on the evocative side, the ability to communicate something out there. He did it through conducting and through composing and through performance and through virtuosity. But I think I do have a little bit of him in me, at least in being a conductor of whatever that thing is that evokes a feeling in you. So I'm kind of thinking of myself as less of a violinist and more of a DJ of supersonic, holy spiritual vibes. I think that's it. So it took me a long time to talk it out, but I think that's my purpose. And so my teacher just, I'm really thankful that she could hear through it, But 93 and she understands Lana Del Rey, so pretty cool.
So this is footage from one of my prior gigs back in October. That's Arlene there. She'd always come up and either give me some water or something to drink and give some feedback, let me know how the mix sounded, how my tone sounded through the speaker. A teacher to the end. By the time of this video, the last gig I played when I recorded that vlog bit in the car, that was December 23rd. It's now January 4th. And I just got word last night that she passed away 2 nights ago in her sleep. So it was a good way to go if you're going to go. I saw no indications the last time I saw her. She was doing real good. So I'm sad she's gone, but I'm glad I got to play for her one more time, and I will be playing at her funeral on Saturday the 13th. So I'm thankful to God that I was able to have that opportunity and to end on a good note with the woman who got me started in violin. Godspeed, Arlene. Thanks for everything.